Good afternoon, everyone. I'm excited to be here. I've got Miss Miranda Jett, Miss Financial Services Queen. Um, so I asked her to be on the podcast today. I think we met Miranda kind of through my real estate investing.
Correct.
And as you know, I'm very interested in financial services. And I'll tell you guys that Miranda probably is the only one um, in my social media that does a lot of posting. And so because of that, I went to her when I had questions about financial services. So I'm really intrigued about financial services. She knows all that there is. So I wanted just to bring her on and just kind of pick her brain about the industry itself and what her journey has been like thus far. And so, Miranda, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself?
Absolutely. Greg, thank you so much for having me. My name is Miranda Jett. I have been in the insurance industry for over 6 years now. Actually, I'll be celebrating my 7th year anniversary this November. I started off with a company that only offered one product, which was final expense, and I did final expense only for about 5 years. After that, I transitioned into a broker where I'm now in a position to offer multiple products, whether it's term life, whole life. I'm in a position where I can pretty much help every single client with their financial goals.
And so, what is it about the financial services industry that you really enjoy, you love? I can tell you love every time I talk to you, you have an enthusiasm about you. What is it about financial services that you love?
Well, first of all, I've always loved to help people, Greg. One thing about this industry is that you get the opportunity to help so many different people from all walks of life. I'm about offering solutions. So, of course, as you meet different people, they may have different circumstances, as far as their finances are concerned, as far as their health is concerned. So, number one, I would say the most important thing is the fact that I'm able to help so many people. Two, I'm a family woman. I have 4 children. One of them, he's already gone. He's in the military. But I love the flexibility that the financial services industry offers as well, because not only am I able to help clients, but I can also be there for my family. It's not a regular 9 to 5 position where I'm required to show up at a certain time, leave at a certain time, take a lunch break at a certain time. So I love the flexibility that it offers.
And so you're with an insurance marketing organization called Family First Life.
Correct.
So tell us why you chose Family First Life and what do they have to offer?
What I loved about Family First Life, and first of all, I could have gone anywhere, but the reason I chose Family First Life is because of their platform. I've never seen a platform such as this one. Their training platform is phenomenal. One of the things that made me really nervous about becoming a broker in the beginning was because, at the time I only understood final expense and that was it. So now when you go from just one company offering one product to all of a sudden representing multiple insurance carriers and being able to offer a multitude of products, I remember my worry was, how am I going to know which carrier to place my clients with? How am I going to make sure that each client is in the very best situation possible? So upon looking at Family First Life, I went right to YouTube at first. That was the first thing I did. I went to YouTube and I saw so many different trainings there. So their trainings, their resources, their leads, those were all of the reasons why I came to Family First Life, because had it not been for that, I'm not quite sure what I would have done as far as knowing how to place my clients in the best situation. So I would say out of every insurance marketing organization that I've looked at, Family First Life is by far the best. They have the best platform.
And so talk to us about the leads program.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so the leads program is great. We have so many different types of leads. Of course, as when you become a broker with Family First Life, you will have your own personalized CRM. You can log into that CRM and order as many leads as you want. And you can work in the areas that you want to work. So let's say you just want to work in Laurel, Maryland. Go in, select the type of leads you want, type in your zip code 20707, and you can work in that particular area. We also have a lot of agents, Greg, who like to take travel trips. So let's say, I would love to go to California. Well, you can go ahead and purchase leads, work in California, have a little fun too, have a little fun, go to the beach while you're there, experience the area, but you can absolutely work there. So we have so many different leads. We have leads in just about every part of the country. So all you have is just a matter of targeting the areas where you want to work. We have leads of different price points. I will say that at the company that I came from before, leads could get really, really expensive. I'm talking 48, as high as $48. Well, at Family First Life, we have quality leads here for just $11, some for as little as $4. So great leads, definitely a great investment in various price points.
So what about the contracts and how high, where do they normally start? How high do they go? Mm-hmm. Tell us about that commission plan.
Yeah, definitely. So at Family First Life, your contracts with the insurance carriers start very, very high. And most insurance companies out there, you have contracts as low as 25%, 50% contracts. I know when I first got started in this industry, I came in at a 50% contract. At Family First Life, our contracts start at 90% and they go as high as 145%.
Okay. And then which carriers? Talk a little bit about the carriers that you use.
Oh, yes. So I know for me personally, I'm contracted with about 12 different carriers. We have carriers such as Americo, Mutual of Omaha, Transamerica, AIG. A lot of your viewers right now have probably heard of some of these companies. Some of them they have not. But a lot of these carriers have been around for many, many years, some dating back to the 1800s. So there's definitely financial stability there. So if you get an insurance policy through not through Family First Life per se, but through one of these carriers, then you're with a very good company, so that when that time comes, that your family's going to actually get that benefit that they applied for. So
one of the things that's intrigued me about the industry, and me wanting to help and help build generational wealth. Me primarily have been on real estate investing side, also on a brokerage, but wanting to give my real estate agents another stream of income, but then also to help our community, the African American community. So, and I know that's kind of part of your mission as well. Speak a little bit about that.
Definitely. So unfortunately, Greg, there are a lot of people in our community who do not have any life insurance, or they don't have enough life insurance. And unfortunately, a lot of people in our community feel that, I'm not going to get life insurance. It's just another bill, but it's always just another bill until something actually happens. And then when the unthinkable happens, we're holding fish fries and we have to open up GoFundMe pages. And I'm always telling people, GoFundMe is not life insurance. GoFundMe is not a fish fry event, because what we're doing is we're reaching out to people who don't have that type of money lying around anyway, and it causes a lot of stress. So not only are you having to deal with the loss of your loved one, but now you're trying to figure out, how do I handle these funeral expenses? Getting life insurance is super important, because I'm telling you, with a very, very small premium, that you have to pay each month, you could get a large amount of coverage, so there's no better day than today to get it. Life insurance is based on your health at the time of the application, and it's based on your age at the time of the application. And I have talked with many people who finally made a decision later on in life, okay, I'm going to go ahead and get life insurance. But by that time, they're older, their health has deteriorated. I always hear them say the same thing. I wish that I had taken care of this years ago. So there's no better day than today. Take care of it today.
And how early should one get some coverage?
It's never too early. I have life insurance policies on my children, Greg. I got life insurance on them when they were little. My kids, they're growing now. But there's no better day than today to get it. I'm telling you, the younger you are when you get it, the better. especially when you're able to lock in that price. And so I'm able to put families in a position where they could go ahead and insure their children with the children's whole life policy. And guess what? That price will never change. So even when they're 30, 40, 50, 60, 70 years old, guess what? They're still paying the same exact price they were paying when they were 4 or 5 years old. So there's no better day than today. Get it now. Get it when your children are children.
Yeah, I mean, so I got my daughter a policy when she was first born.
Good.
And then when she was around 13 years old, I got her a retirement policy and index universal life policy.
Smart.
And so she basically has two policies, one of which will help her with retirement, because the IUL has living benefits. But most importantly, the one I got her when she was a baby, she can have that one for the rest of her life and never have to worry about being insurable or not.
That's exactly right.
And so that's why I think you get it as early as possible when you're in the best health, because that's when it's the least expensive. And so I think that's a huge lesson that I'm learning, kind of starting off in this space, is
Yes.
the earlier the better. But not only that, life insurance is to protect your wealth. It's not necessarily to be used as a final expense, even though I know there's final expense insurance that you can purchase, but it's to preserve wealth and actually build wealth. Can you talk a little bit about, I know we talk about IULs and things like that, but any other type of like retirement plans that one can purchase?
Yeah, so we also have plans that provide a cashback option. As far as what that is, what that basically means is that, let's say you get a $200,000 policy today, a $200,000 universal life policy, and it's for 30 years. Well, let's say that you passed away within that 30 years. Of course, you know that your family's going to get $200,000. But what happens if you outlive the policy? That's what happens to a lot of people. A lot of times they'll pick up a 20 or 30-year policy. And then at the end of that term, guess what? They're thinking, okay, what happens to the money that I paid into it? In most cases, you would have lost that money, or I don't want to say lost it, but you don't get that back. But in this case, we have cashback options where if you don't pass away within that term, the insurance company will mail you back a check in a lump sum with all of the premiums that you ever paid into the policy. So I like to call those can't lose policies because, hey, if you don't die, you get your money back. But if you die, your family's going to get that benefit. And in addition to that, these types of policies have living benefits. So you don't have to die to use the benefit. What happens is if a doctor were to tell you that you're terminally ill, chronically ill, or critically ill, you can actually use that face amount while you're still alive so that you can continue to pay your mortgage and buy food and pay the rest of your bills. See, with a lot of policies don't offer that living benefit. So you try to call that life insurance company up, while you're sick, and you're telling them, hey, I'm sick. Can I use, a portion of this death benefit? They're going to say no, because you're not dead yet. We'll pay it out to your family when and if you die. But with this type of policy that I'm talking about here, with the cashback option, it does have those living benefits. So if you were to become so sick that you can't work, you don't have to worry about, oh my goodness, how am I going to pay my bills? How am I going to pay my mortgage? A lot of times when people become disabled, they can't work. A lot of times if they become too sick, they cannot perform at a level that they performed at when they were well. So with these types of policies, you can have the assurance of knowing that, hey, if something happens to me where I'm still alive, but I can't work, or if I'm too sick or too disabled to work, then you can absolutely use the face amount of your policy while you're still here so that you can continue to take care of your family.
Yeah, so important. And like I said, we always think in terms of real estate that's good as a vehicle to build wealth. Mm-hmm. We need vehicles to preserve our wealth while we're building it. And these policies do that. Let's get back to the African American community. Why don't you think that that we have proper insurance?
Oh my goodness. I think a lot of us feel that life insurance is too expensive. They're thinking, oh my goodness, it's too high. Oh, I'm not going to be able to afford it. But that couldn't be further from the truth, because we have a plan that fits every need and every budget. I've even spoken with people within our community, Greg, who think that they're too sick to get life insurance. They think, oh, I've been denied by other insurance companies in the past. I don't think there's anything that you can do to help me. And guess what? Even though it might be a little more challenging to find something for you, if you feel that you're too sick, we still have a plan for you. So get it. Even if you feel, oh, I have too many health conditions or I can't afford it, still try, because that is a plan for you. You just haven't found the right agent yet. But keep searching. You will find the right agent. You haven't met me yet. You haven't insured the uninsurable.
Absolutely. Talk a little bit about chargebacks. I was at a cookout and I was talking to a guy, and I felt bad because I felt like I had kind of had him in a corner. But I was passionate about what I was saying to him. And I said, I look at this model, and it's just a great model. You sell a policy, you make the money for the policy that you just sold. But for some of the policies, when they get renewed, you make money then as well. There's bonuses. There's overrides. If you build a team, if you choose to build a team, you get overrides. So it's just a good model. And then if you build a big enough book of business, you've got companies just waiting on you to build it up to a certain point, and they will buy your book of business. So there's an exit strategy. And so that's why I love the model. But he told me, he said, well, I was in insurance before 10, 15 years ago, 20 years ago, and I couldn't deal with the chargebacks. And so, it was a limiting belief, and that was keeping him from trying to step into it again. What do you say to someone that talks about chargebacks and just have those kind of beliefs that it's just not going to work for them?
Oh, absolutely. Chargebacks happen sometime, and I admit they're not fun. I don't like chargebacks. But what I do, Greg, is I try to make sure I put my client in the very best position possible the first time around so that chargebacks are less likely to happen. Also, you shouldn't just sit down with the client, close the deal, and then they never hear from you again. I think that's one of the main reasons why chargebacks happen is, agents are so concerned about their commission. They just want to go in, close the deal, get paid, and bam. But you want to keep that business on the books. I always tell my clients, I am your agent for life. Either you're going to come to my funeral or I'm going to go to your funeral. I make sure I check in with them from time to time. I do policy reviews. I call them up every 6 months and I'll tell them, Ms. Jones, it's time for me to look over your policy. I want to do a policy review. What I do typically, Greg, is I tell them if another agent comes to you and tells you that they can offer you a better plan than the one I have, before you cancel the one I gave you, call me. And it really works. I have had clients call me, Greg, hey, another man came over here the other day saying that he could offer me a better plan. So I'll go and sit down with them and I'll let them know this is why my plan is better, rather than them just canceling. So if you just keep a great relationship with them, have a good relationship with them, check in with them, all they want to really see is that you care. But if you sit down with them one day, close the deal, and bam, you're out of the house and never speak with them again, chances are you're asking for a chargeback to happen. So always keep good relationships with your clients and try to put them in the best position possible the first time around.
And just real quickly, explain what a chargeback is.
Basically, a chargeback happens when a client cancels their policy within the first year. So all of that advance money that you were paid, you have to pay that money back. So that's pretty much what that is in a nutshell.
And speak to how the money is paid. So you said the money that was paid up front. So you sell me a policy, and let's say it's $1,000 policy. I'm to pay $83 a month. How much of that policy do you get up front? How much do you get on the back end?
So the insurance company will advance you 75% up front. Okay. So let me get out my trusty calculator here because I like to break down the numbers for people. If any of you have your calculator in front of you, you can go ahead and follow along. If not, that's okay. But let's just say for the sake of argument that your policy premiums or that you sell a client an insurance policy where they're paying $80 a month. Okay. So you say 80 times 12. Why times 12? Because we base it on the annual premium. So if they're paying $80 a month, then they're paying $960 over the course of the year. Now, let's say that an agent comes in at a 100% contract. You want to say 960 times 0.75. So $720 is what that agent will be paid up front. And then
and
the
when,
rest is paid
I'll get paid up front when? How many days after the policy is approved?
about 2 business days on average. So this is the one business, Greg, that you can come in and be broke at the beginning of the week and have $5,000 or $10,000 in your account by the end of the week.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I relate that to what we do in the real estate industry. We sell a house, we get a client under contract today. It could take 30 days, it could take 45 days before we get paid.
Correct. Here it's immediate. It's immediate. So let's say you submit an application today, just wait for the company to get back with you, and they're going to pretty much send you an email saying, hey, this is how much commission that you're going to earn. And then, of course, we all have our bank accounts on file, so that the day after that, you will see that money deposited in your bank account.
So the 75% of that goes into your account in 2 days. When do they get the rest of it?
The rest of it is paid on the back end. That's in the 10th, 11th, and 12th months that the policy has been enforced.
Okay. All right. And then the same with the overrides. If someone underneath you that you've recruited, they sell a policy today, you get your override in 2 days as well.
Correct. Absolutely.
Okay. And then talk to us a little bit about legacy. I think you were telling me about a gentleman. I forget his name.
Oh, you're talking about the rapper Master P.
Master P.
Yes. So a lot of people know who Master P is of No Limit Records. He started his record label with just $10,000 that his grandfather left behind for him in a life insurance policy. His grandfather passed away, left him $10,000. So rather than him going out and just spending the $10,000 on shoes and clothes and things like that, he flipped it and he started a record label. And then the rest is history. He's one of the most famous rappers alive right now. He's done a lot of great things for the Black community. He also encourages, the Black community to build wealth. He's very big on leaving a legacy behind for your family. So if any of you don't know who Master P is, please look him up immediately and just see how he got started. So he wasn't born with a silver spoon in his mouth. He was born like a lot of us were. A lot of us were born into regular, families, just trying to survive, trying to make a living. He wasn't one of the Hiltons or anything like that, or a Kardashian. He basically took this $10,000. He started from the bottom, and now he's on top now. So leaving a legacy, no matter how big or how small for your family, is very helpful. Very helpful. When we talk about leaving a legacy, you don't have to leave behind $1 million or $2 million for your family. Just something small as $10,000 or $20,000 can definitely give your surviving family members a head start in life. So please leave a legacy behind for your family members. And the best way for us to do that within the Black community is by having a life insurance policy.
And just get it. Just whatever you can afford at the time.
Yes.
You can always increase it, but whatever you can afford at the time, do that. And
yes,
because what happens is the head of every household, they're bringing in the most money with no life insurance, and most head of households don't have life insurance. With no life insurance, when they die, all the wealth dies with them. And so I equate that to the Jewish community, and I tell the story all the time. When someone in the Jewish community passes away, 2 millionaires are created because of the life insurance that they've gotten on each other. And so they use life insurance and financial services products as a way to build wealth and to preserve wealth. And so that's what we've got to do. We've got to really get out into the community and really preach the gospel on how to build wealth and how to preserve wealth. And really how to leave a legacy. We all talk about building generational wealth and leaving a legacy for our children and our children's children. The best way to do that is through financial products, financial services, insurance. I've got a portfolio of real estate, but I've got enough insurance that's going to cover everything if I was to pass away. And so that's what we need to do. And so I always get asked the question, well, how much insurance do you really need? And why don't you answer that question, Miranda? If someone was to ask you, well, how much insurance do I really need? What's the answer?
That's a great question, Greg. What I do with every single person I speak with is I conduct what's called a financial analysis. So it's actually a sheet that we have at Family First Life that every agent has access to, where we ask them simple questions such as, their monthly income. How much are they bringing in? Even people who are on a fixed income can afford life insurance. So I just kind of do a breakdown of their finances and what they're paying for their bills. And then once I have all of that information, then we can pretty much determine how much life insurance that they're able to afford. And I'll tell you this, a lot of people can afford more life insurance than they think, but it's all about, conducting that financial analysis so that you can get a true understanding of what that client is able to afford, what they're able to handle.
And are you conducting those analyses in person, or are you doing it through Zoom or other virtual technology?
Both. Ever since the pandemic, I don't see clients in person very much anymore. So most of my work is done on Zoom or over the phone. So every single carrier that we're contracted with have what's called an e-application. It's not paper, and you just log into the system, you just type your information in. So you can write any application over Zoom or over the phone. So yes, I conduct most of my business over the phone or over Zoom now.
And has there been any changes in the industry because of COVID that you've seen?
I think so, because a lot of people used to think that, senior citizens, they may not be very tech savvy. Well, I can tell you now that if they weren't tech savvy before, when this pandemic happened, everybody now knows how to use Zoom. People have Zoom appointments for the doctor. People have virtual Zoom appointments to see the doctor. A lot of them are not going to their doctor's appointments in person anymore right now. People go to church on Zoom, I have church on Zoom now, so within this past, I would say ever since February of 2020, people really, really started to learn how to use Zoom from, the millennials to the elderly. Everybody knows how to use Zoom now. Everybody knows how to check their email. So it's very easy now.
But I think not just that. I think because of the pandemic, I'm hearing and seeing that more people are actually buying insurance policies.
That is correct.
Because
yes,
because their mortality, and they see that people are dying all around them, and they're just really trying to get their affairs in order. So everybody that I've asked the question of how has COVID or the pandemic affected the whole industry as a whole, what they say is it's really increased it.
It has.
People are really looking at, what they want for their family, and everybody's susceptible to, the pandemic.
Yes.
And so they're trying to get, whatever type of policy they can.
That is exactly right, Greg. I think this pandemic has been a true eye opener for a lot of people, because none of us knows what's going to happen. It's like from one day to the next, you don't know what's going to happen. I know of people, not in my immediate family, but people that I knew who went to my church and things of that nature who passed away from COVID-19. And so if anything, this pandemic has truly been an eye opener, and people are thinking, okay, if this were to happen to me, I just want to make sure that my affairs are in order and that my family's taken care of if, God forbid, I were to catch COVID-19. So, we have seen an increase in people getting life insurance just based off of that alone. So,
and where do you see yourself, let's say in 3 years, 5 years, where do you see yourself in your career?
Well, in 3 years, 5 years, I definitely plan to be a multi-millionaire, Greg. And looks like that's going to happen, based on how things are going now. But for me, it's not really about the money. It's about, just leaving a legacy behind for my family, being able to help as many people as I possibly can. I feel that, I can get where I want to be if I help others get where they want to be. So it's really not all about me. It's bigger than me. It's bigger than me. I want to be able to help my community, whether they want to get life insurance or whether they want to acquire wealth for themselves. And life insurance, being in the insurance industry, being in the financial service industry, period, is one of the quickest ways to do that. So Oh my goodness, if I were to die tomorrow, I just want to know, I just want my legacy to be that I've helped a lot of people and that I left my family in a good position. So for me, it's really not all about the money. I don't think my life is going to change that much, as far as, where I live. I love my house. I love my neighborhood. It's not about fancy cars and fancy things. I mean, sure, I like those things. I might go ahead and get a few, but I mean, for me, it's not all about that. For me, it's really all about helping others. So.
And what advice would you give one that is interested in financial services or a career in financial services, be it full-time or part-time? I see a lot of people selling financial services part-time, which I think is just a wonderful, not necessarily a job, but business to have part-time.
Yes.
And so what advice would you give them?
Oh, I would definitely say, just jump in, even if you can't do it on a full-time basis yet, do it part-time, do it on weekends. As a matter of fact, I have agents who have sold $20,000 in business in one weekend. I'm not talking about working from Monday to Friday. I'm talking about Friday night, Saturday, and Sunday. And they were able to earn $20,000 in one weekend. But whether your goal is to earn an extra $2,000 a week, $5,000 a month, whatever the case may be, you can absolutely do that here on a part-time basis. And then what we find is once agents find that their income, at Family First Life exceeds what they're making at their 9 to 5, a lot of times they'll just quit their 9 to 5 and come in full time. So we have a lot of part-timers who are doing $10,000, bringing in an extra $10,000 a month to take care of themselves and their families. And they're not even making that at their full-time job. So.
Absolutely. And that's what I see. And that's what I'm excited about. I initially wanted to do this just to give my real estate agents another stream of income. Obviously, they'd have to get their license. Mm-hmm. So I think it's powerful to have both the real estate license and the insurance license to be able to sell financial services so that, you can be the wealth building professional for each client.
Yes.
You don't have to pass those clients on to other people. They already know you and trust you.
Correct.
You keep them throughout their whole wealth building process and their journey, and to be able to advise them and help them. So that's primarily why I've been interested, and we've kind of gotten into it. And I'm just really excited about it. I'm excited about the help that you've provided us thus far. And I really look forward to working with you. One last question. Those out there that don't have insurance or don't have enough insurance, but primarily don't have insurance, what do you say to those people?
I would say find yourself an agent that you can trust and get on it now, because we don't know what tomorrow's going to bring. We just don't know. I've had clients who leads. I've had people inquire about life insurance, and then when I sit down with them, it's like no matter what I say, they're just determined, oh, I'm not going to get it right now. Oh, no, I'm not going to get it. I've got time. Even though I try to persuade them, you don't know what tomorrow's going to bring. And then 6 months later, their family member calling me saying, oh, my goodness, my dad just had a heart attack and he's in the hospital. Can I get life insurance for him now? Well, guess what? It's going to be a lot harder. The plan that he would have qualified for 6 months ago, he no longer qualifies for that plan now. So finding life insurance at that point, especially after somebody has just had a heart attack, can be difficult. It can be done. They can get something, but it just won't be the plan that they had before. So if you don't have life insurance right now, or if you don't have enough, please find yourself a trusted agent and get on this right away. You don't know what tomorrow's going to bring. You don't know what kind of shift in health you're going to have tomorrow. There are people who at this time last year, they were sitting here just like you and I. And guess what? They're no longer healthy. Some of them are not even here anymore. So please get it now. Don't wait. There's no better day than today. You will never be as young and healthy as you are today. Get it now.
All right. You go, girl. I love it. and so that's wonderful. That's wonderful. And I agree. I want everybody, but especially our community, to build wealth. And to do the right thing, to live your life kind of in the right way, protect your family, protect your loved ones, Don't be selfish, because a lot of
Yes.
it's just selfishness.
It is.
We do I'll put a link on here in the comment section for Join Big Life. Look like somebody else did too for me at the same time, which is wonderful. But yeah, so we do a webinar, a live webinar every Thursday. So we'll be doing one tomorrow. You can go to joinbiglife.com, get all your questions answered. We do a quick PowerPoint on insurance and financial services. And then we do offer an opportunity if you want to get your license and to sell, even if you want to sell part-time. A lot of part-time people, Miranda, what are they making? They can make between $2,000 and $5,000 a week.
Yeah, I'll just say, let me just talk on the low end, because sometimes when I tell people, oh, you can earn $5,000 a week, they don't think that it's doable. They're like, oh, how can I do that? If you're looking to earn an extra $5,000 to $10,000 a month, join Big Life Financial. It can be done here on a part-time basis. It can be done. So get started. And you don't have to have a college degree either. This is all you need is your life insurance license, and most people can pass the exam within 2 to 3 weeks. So it's literally a license to print money.
It really is. And we'll show you how to do that. All right, Miranda, you want to give your information out? Do you have a site or a number or your Instagram?
Yeah, absolutely. So you can find me on Instagram at FFL Takeoff. That's Family First Life Takeoff, FFL Takeoff. You can also find me on Facebook at Family First Life Takeoff. If you would like to contact me by phone, my number is 240-603-0272. Again, that's 240-603-0272. And just let me know that Greg sent you.
And whether or not you want to take advantage of the opportunity and actually build wealth selling, or you might need insurance to protect yourself and so to help your family. Contact us, contact her. You can be on the webinar tomorrow. Actually, you can go to the link now. And if you want to book a confidential appointment with us, the link will show you how to do that, or you can just register for our webinar tomorrow. Anyway, thanks a lot. Thanks for your time, Miranda.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
You've been wonderful. And so one thing I want to say to you guys, whatever business you guys are in, social media rules the day. And the reason why Miranda's here with me is because of social media. I was actually looking around to get some people to help me. And I said, well, let me just go to my social media. I've got lots of followers. I follow a lot of people. She's really the only one that I follow or that follows me that's really like posting almost on a daily basis and just really marketing and branding herself through social media. And I think because of that, we're really going to be able to help her out, and she's going to be able to help us out. So social media works. Whatever type of business you guys are in, and you've got to embrace social media. Whether you're a millennial or not, it doesn't matter. Embrace social media. And so that's really how we connected. So, all right, Miranda, thanks a lot. Really appreciate it. I'll definitely be in touch. Thank you, guys. Let's build wealth. Let's all build wealth together. If one of us rises, we all rise. Let's live up to our fullest potential and build wealth, but not only just build wealth, let's find products that's going to help preserve that wealth as well. So if something was to happen to us, nothing happens to our wealth. As a matter of fact, our wealth keeps growing. And so we need to learn about those types of products and what we can do and what we can invest in to preserve and grow our wealth. Annuities, I mean, there's a lot that we didn't even talk about, but they're all out there. All right. Thank you again, Miranda. And you guys have a great week, great day, and we'll talk to you soon.
Bye. Have a great day.